Good morning, second grade. This is Mrs. Knips, and it is a Friday today, and you guys have a snow day today. So I am making some video lessons for when I'm gone having my knee surgery, and you guys will be here with my substitute. So I'm hoping that you're having a good day today. We are going to start a new lesson, and we are going to use the water crayons like we had used with our Henri Matisse lesson if you were here. Some of you might have not started the Henri Matisse lesson because of snow days, but we're going to talk about them today. The first thing that we want to do on our paper is start our background paper for our lesson. So we are going to talk about making like an underwater scene, and we're going to work on some like fundamental skills. Like we haven't done a lot of cutting in art and gluing things on, and so we're going to do a little bit more of that. So the first thing I'm going to make is we're going to make the water for under our picture underwater. So I'm just going to take my oil pastel watercolor crayons, and I'm literally just going to fill up my paper with all different kinds of lines. I can make some wavy ones. I just want to fill up my paper all the way. Okay. And you want to make sure that you get enough crayon on there, because if you don't, it's not going to fill in very nice, and it's going to be a lot of white spaces in it. So I'm going to take my darker crayon now, and I'm just going to put in some more wavy lines. So this part is pretty simple. It might take us a little bit of time. And notice how I'm not just scribbling. I mean, I'm kind of scribbling, but I'm making all my lines go back and forth. Like all of my lines are going horizontal. So it looks like my water is all flowing in the same direction. Okay. So once I feel like I have quite a bit of color on my paper, we have talked about how you can use one finger to fill in your paper, or to dunk your finger in water and fill in your paper and kind of smear your water crayons around. It does not have to be perfect. I mean, it's going to be just a background paper, so we'll be gluing stuff over top of it. But I'm just going to try and smear them around just a little bit so I get a little bit more color behind my lines. You'll still see your lines, but it'll look more like water. And if I feel like my paper, if I'm rubbing too hard and it's starting to get little pieces that come off of it, I would move to a different spot. The other thing you can do if you feel like you have some white spaces is dunk your crayon in water and kind of fill it in too. That will help also. Okay, so I don't want to take too much time on filling it in, because otherwise my paper's going to get a hole in it if I rub on it too much. So I'm just making sure I keep getting my finger wet all the time. It's almost like I'm painting with my finger. And if I get a little on my table later, I'll just have to wipe it down. Could use like a paper towel or something to wipe my table down. Okay. So this part is pretty simple. This is just going to be our background. I think our fish are going to look pretty cool on top of here. So as you're doing this, I'm going to flip my paper around. As you're doing this, you can start thinking about what type of fish you want to draw, what type of fish you might see. I mean, you could even think of like the movie Finding Nemo and think about what type of fish you see in that movie, and then what kind of fish you want to draw. All right, I'm almost done. So it didn't take me too long, just a few minutes. So when I'm done with this paper, I need to put my supplies away because I'm not going to use the watercolor crayons anymore. So I need to also let my paper dry. So I'm going to take my paper, and you know what I should have told you before? Maybe I'll have your substitute remind you, but you should have your name on the back. So I guess I could kind of fold it over and write my name on here. Mrs. Knips. And then this paper goes on the drying rack, okay? So that it's all ready to go for next time. So I'm done with my background paper. I'm gonna move it on to the side. I could take a paper towel and wipe my table, okay? And then I'm gonna get a new white paper. Actually, I want it to go this way. And we're gonna start talking about how to draw fish. So you have to have at least 6 fish. Make sure you make 6 fish, okay? And we are going to try to draw them kind of big. I mean, we want them to be able to fit on my background paper. So I should only need 1 paper. But before you start drawing your fish, I want you at the very bottom of your paper to draw a line. This is gonna be our sand. And then you can start making any, like coral reef. That's just a spiky line. Maybe I wanna make one that's an organic shape like Henri Matisse made. Like that. I'm gonna put some down here. Okay. Maybe I could make a treasure chest. I could put rocks down here, or a turtle, or crabs. I could make all kinds of things. I mean, the possibilities are endless. What else? What other kind of seaweed is there? There we go. I got a few. You don't have to go too crazy. You could draw a crab or a turtle or something down here too. Okay, I got a couple. Okay, now up here, I need to make 6 fish, and I want to think about which way they're swimming. So I want to put some of them swimming that way and some of them swimming this way. I also want to think about the size of my fish. I don't want to make them all the same size because that's kind of boring. So when I start my fish, I start with a circle, lightly, or an oval. And then I draw a triangle on the end of it. And I make a triangle up here for his mouth, and I can erase that line then. So let me draw it a little darker so you can see it. Here's my circle then. And this is where the tail connects. And here's the bottom. And here's my mouth. Now for me, I like to make fish lips on them. So I make like a bubble there. There's my fish lips. I could put a fin back here and a fin down here and a fin in the middle and a big eye. And I could make zigzags on my fish. You could put stripes on them. You can decide how you want your fish to be. So I have 1 fish swimming that way. Now this time I'm gonna make a long fish. So I'm gonna start with my oval again, really long. I'm gonna put a tail on him. And I'm gonna draw a mouth in there. Okay, and actually this time I'm going to erase this back line of my tail, and I'm gonna write like a V in here so it looks like he's got a different kind of tail. Here is my fish. And I don't know if I have room to make fish lips on this one. I'll have to see. Maybe I can make his mouth is closed. Fish lips. And I'm gonna make a long fin on this one and a long fin underneath. Put some stripes in it. Maybe I want to put stripes in my tail too. It's a striped fish. There's his little fin. Okay, so I have 1 fish going that way, 1 fish going this way. Now I'm gonna make, maybe I'll make a fish with teeth. So I'm gonna draw my circle. Actually, I'm gonna make him bigger because all my fish are kind of turning out the same size, which I told you not to do. So I'm gonna make this guy bigger. And put a V in it. Okay, so I drew it lightly to start with. Now I'm gonna go over top of it again. This fish is gonna have teeth. Okay, and I'm going to make this fish have a V in his tail too. Everything's really pointy, just like his teeth. Oh, yikes. Maybe I make a little tiny fish. We're gonna cut all our fish out eventually, so maybe let's make another fish. I gotta think. I'm gonna make this fish be a little bit wavy. I'm gonna make the tail wavy. And I'm gonna make, so let me draw it again. Here's my V for the mouth. Wavy tail. Wavy fin. Wavy fin. Wavy fin. And bubble lips, fish lips. I could draw, but actually I don't want to draw in the background because I gotta cut them out. So I take that back. Okay, there's another one. Maybe I want to make some wavy lines on it. It's like an angelfish, I think is what they're called. Let me think. Maybe I want to make a really little fish. And this one I'm going to make swimming the other way. So I'm doing 3 swimming one way, 3 swimming the other way. Oh, I know. I'm going to erase this. I got a different idea. I'm going to make a little puffer fish. So instead of starting with a circle, I'm starting with a pointy shape. And I'm going to erase it because I'm going to put a mouth in it. Bloop, bloop. And give him a tail. And a little fin there. There's my puffer fish. Actually, I'm going to change that tail too. So it's okay to erase. You can erase if you need to. No problem. There's my little puffy fish. And then I'm going to make one more. And I think I'm going to make it like this shape, like a diamond kind of, except I'm going to add a tail to it, like this. So here's his eyes. This fish has a little mouth. So you can be creative in the shapes of your fish too. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fish. When I'm done drawing my fish, I should Sharpie them. So if I start here, I'm just gonna go, you can decide if you want a thin Sharpie or a thick Sharpie. Oops, my eye got cut off, so I'm gonna move my eye. I can erase it later, the pencil marks. Maybe I'll put a little fin back here. There we go. I can draw this one. I think a thin Sharpie might work best for my little fish. I don't have one right next to me, but I might do that. So I'm taking my time, making sure that I'm not being sloppy. There we go. And you get the idea. I would Sharpie all of this, okay? I think that's as far as you're gonna get on day 1. So I'm gonna pause the video. If you get further than that, you can just start the second video, okay? But this one, that's as far as I'm gonna get for day 1, or that's as much as I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna have you do this paper first, clean up after yourself, and then this one. This paper, you need your name on the back. And then this one goes in your box. This one also has your name on the back, and this one goes in on the drying rack, okay? All right, I will have another video for you in just a little bit.